we've used before.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna write it down and drop off these.
Oh.
Yeah, I know we did it before. Just couldn't remember what.
Yeah, so he's helping us out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
We're doing just
Taking kids out of the car.
and then he helps out.
We're in, relax.
All right.
All right, great. And do we have any public comment today?
We do not
Okay.
have any public.
Great. Welcome. The meeting will come to order. Do we need to take one thing?
Okay. Nick's here, Jake's here, Matt's here, Leanne's here, Christine's here, Pam's here, Megan's here, Lisa's here, and Ashley's here.
Great. Let the minutes show that a quorum is present. The agenda is before you. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
A motion.
Great. Any questions on the agenda before we move forward? All right. Let's roll. So first order of business is reviewing the minutes from our October 12th regular meeting. Did people have a chance to look at those beforehand? Any questions or changes that are needed? Great. The question is on the approval of the minutes from October 12th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. All right, the ayes have it. The agenda or the minutes have been approved. All right, and then next up we have our committee report for governance.
Just that, a reminder, friendly reminder that we only required to have 5 hours of training this year for all of us since we're existing board member candidates new. And the trainings are still being offered through campus. I haven't gotten the recent report from Ted, so I don't know if anybody.
I
finished. Oh, you did?
Sure, next Wednesday.
Oh, okay, good.
And I have 1 more hour.
And that's it for me.
Great. All right, next order of business is the financial report.
So we did have our regular finance committee meeting this month where we went over the reports again in detail. So in your packet, you will see the October and November financials for your review. I'll just give you the overall highlights from the meeting. So you have a healthy budget. Overall, you are showing that we are over encumbered in your operational fund. This is simply due to 2 things. The first being that our lease assistance allocation is not in our budget quite yet. I do have a bar for your approval to budget those funds. So currently that is in from an operational line. It will be moved to another funding source once that budget is approved. And then secondly, we're anticipating an additional $250,000 in carryover. So that will be added to our budget. So in all reality, the budget isn't actually over encumbered when we have final numbers. As far as our RFRs, they are being processed by PDD in a timely manner. We're trying to receive those in again, submit them monthly within the recent. And then as far as our other funds, we are on target to fully spend all of our reimbursement funds for the school year. So that's great news. And that's the overall highlights. Did anybody have any questions regarding any of the financial reports before I go into the bars? All right. There are 3 bars for your approval. The first being bar number 12D. This is a decrease for your Title I funds in the amount of $1,254. So when we build the budget for the previous year, for this year, we don't always have final allocation numbers, so we just kind of project. Later on in the school year, PED comes forward with an allocation letter with our allocated budget for exact numbers, and this year it did decrease by the 1,200. We could subtract it from the salary we are paying for the teacher. That expense will now be moved to the operational fund to cover it. The next bar we have is going to be bar number 13, Ivy. This is an initial budget bar, and this is for your lease assistance allocation. It is for a total of $209,609. Again, this is just towards our full payment. And lastly is going to be bar number 14, and this is an operational maintenance bar. This is to move unused budget within the 2000 functions to cover our anticipated expenditures for the rest of the remaining school year.
Great. Any questions about bars 12, 13, 14 before we go? All right, so the question is on the approval of these three bars. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. All right, the ayes have it, the bars have been approved. And were you able to check?
I was able to check October.
All right, great. Next up is the vote to approve the Open Meetings Act resolution.
This is just what we would, if we decided we liked to do the work session before and the meeting itself to 9, this would just change that meeting start time in our regular Open Meetings Act resolution from 8:30 to 9. So it's really good for everybody. The first to do. We would approve this if we couldn't.
Any discussion needed?
I like it. I think it's a good idea to bring up some of those things. Yeah, have a longer discussion on it.
We would do 8:30 then to 9. Is that the no. All right, 8:30 to 9 for pre-meeting session.
All right, so the question is on the approval of updating the School Open Meetings Act resolution to have a 9 o'clock start. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All right, the ayes have it. The Open Meetings Act resolution will be updated. Next order of business is our Equity Council report.
We had our last Equity Council meeting on November 21st. We went over our school's health plan and wellness plan that has to be done every 3 years. And that discussion led to, we're doing 2 books right now, book study with our parents. The Anxious Generation, if you have not read this excellent book, and How to Raise an Adult, all of you need to too, this is a good one. Basically what both of these books are talking about in different ways, and they go so nicely together, even though they were written apart, that smartphone, social media, and this new helicopter parenting is kind of like, we're calling it snowplow parenting. And it's really taking a toll on young people's mental health, as well as being a negative strain on parents too. The overparenting is, and it's kind of what we were talking about earlier, it's a lot, and it's making parents anxious, which is making their children anxious, and it's really affecting the overall mental health of families in general. So we're going to be having a big book discussion at our next meeting in February, after everyone's had a chance to read it. We've done some articles from NPR on helicopter parenting and what that means. And again, we've kind of put, we're trying to make Equity Council to work for our community and really what it is that we are seeing to help us support our families. So we did talk about, reading The Anxious Generation in our December newsletter. We saw that too. We're hoping that some parents will just pick it up and read it. I think they'll get a lot out of it. What you have
They're good books. I think we both started the other one first, just like just out of curiosity, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then we read the other one. So definitely recommend it.
For all age groups,
Yes.
Not like for
Yeah, the anxious generation talks about how it's kids basically since 2010, right, when the smartphone was really like became ubiquitous, and how young adults or kids who are coming of age in a time where that is a primary device for a lot of families, the impacts that it's having on kids as they get older and kids as they like try to navigate like childhood and what it means for like changing childhood and how that's impacting kids. So it's really, it was fascinating and scary.
It's even talking about like how, and we see it here even at school, like parents sending their kids to school with like the Gizmo watches or just trackers on their wrists to wear all day, and really making them kind of scared and anxious about like, can my parents find me at all times? Is school not a safe place anymore? And things that we really, don't think about, tracking our kids when they're in college and high school and what that means, with all these apps and then the social media issue and, video gaming issues with kids as they get older, and really what parents can do to help, combat some of those things that we're seeing. And then it moves on to just like the anxiety issues that it's causing to parents. Parenting, I think, is taken like it shouldn't have to be this hard, and I think a lot of this stuff is making it super hard on families.
And it was how to raise an adult.
Yeah. I love this.
She was this freshman dean at Stanford for a long time. Okay, so it starts with like what she was seeing with freshmen that she was working with and their parents, and interviews like Teach for America directors, because they're like one of the largest employers of college graduates, and just other, and then like down to college admission. It's really fascinating. Yeah.
And most of them really talk to you about how with electronics now, we have kids that aren't playing. And it's kind of what we were talking about, like what we see outside, not being able to solve problems. And you think about some of these things, like at the playground is where we learn how to solve problems, right? But it's being carried into different aspects of life, because there's not going to be somebody to help resolve issues all your life. You have to learn how to do that on your own, and how we have like the history of playdates, like how did playdates become a thing, and the over monitoring of kids at playdates, and really like how even some of those playdates are really times for parents to get together and not necessarily for the kids to navigate and learn how to play with one another, and really taking a step back. What we're hoping with both of these two is that we come up with some new ways of looking at play outside during recesses, and giving the kids a little more autonomy outside and space to solve problems or
Explore or create or any of the things we're gonna see.
Yeah.
But the problem is so many kids live in neighborhoods where they all go to different schools, and so their schedules are different, they don't see each other. Tom and I were talking about that the other day, it's just so sad that kids don't play with their kids.
Yeah. Or even know who they are, they don't.
You have to get in the car and take the kid, and that's why you have a play date.
Right.
It's sad. That does change the overparenting on that one. Their kids at the house.
Yeah.
Well, and then both of them can with this, like it's not just gonna be like one person who changes it, it's not just gonna be one school, like it's gonna have to be at the parent level, at the school level, at the community level, at the federal level, like there's gonna be a lot. So our little was like, we can start with one little, if we can do one little school community, like that could have a positive impact. Yeah.
It's exciting. That's really good work with it. Yeah, that's awesome.
February 20th.
All right, great. Next up is the co-director.
So 24, 25 enrollment, I'll just go down. We'll be quick. 2024-25 enrollment. So this year, we're currently at 262 students. So we had one student move at the end of November, or sometime in November. This month it stayed from November to December. We have new or leaving students. One more student leaving in December to move to Pennsylvania for parents' jobs. But otherwise, we're staying steady around the 260 range, which is good. And then we have opened our enrollment application for enrollment form for 25-26. And right now we have 108. This is yes, wow, the day before 108 applications
so
already. Yeah, yeah. So 72 of those are for kindergarten. Like 47, 48 seats available.
So there's not as many siblings.
A lot of those are siblings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how many. So 72 for kindergarten, 12 for first grade, 6 for second grade, 8 for third grade, 6 for fourth grade, and 4 for fifth grade. So obviously more in the lower grades, which is good because we have very few openings in grades 1 through 5 next year. So I don't know how many openings. We hope to have our intent to return forms in January, and then we'll know by early February who's going to be returning and what spots will be available. And then transportation update, we are still waiting to hear back from the vendor on our bus or about our bus, and plan to get that involved too. We need to reach out to get approval to just start to go for a new vehicle. School meals, we have been working with our vendor to pilot a hot meal program. They have put in a limit as to how many hot meals they'll provide to the school, so we're still trying to figure out what that means. For us, is that number grows. So we anticipate some changes, but we just don't know what this is.
So how many kids take a meal at lunch now?
Our vendor said they would only provide up to 50 hot meals. We had 67 the other day, and we had 55 the day before.
So a substantial portion of kids bring their lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Most of the kids do. Yeah, yeah. And that is on the new, that number, like we've only, that's like, yeah, we've never had that before. So we're like, oh. So yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, most of them do bring.
and you want to move to the hot meals because of the reimbursement. For funding. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, without servers, anything.
Yeah, yeah, right.
So, yes. Yeah, so we'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about it at the next meeting. And then data dashboard.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about the iStation proficiency. We're at 75% of our students are proficient, which is level 4 or 5 in ELA, and 79% in December were proficient in or advanced in math. Those are just down slightly from November, but it makes sense given the timing when the test was administered. And our VISTAS data has been published. The school has a spotlight designation, which is really exciting. We were the top performing school in Altura. Excited about that. And yeah, so 93% of our kids are proficient in ELA, 83 in math, and then 88 in science, which is that 5th grade assessment. So yeah, things are looking pretty good. We obviously have kids that we want to keep moving up, and so the teachers are working really hard to continue their growth too. So, yeah, I think that's. Is there something else we need to add? Those are the points.
If there are no other questions, then I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Also.
Great, it has been moved and seconded. We are adjourned at 9:30.